So I've got Grant Corley with me today from Financial Services Center, and you've been talking about the importance of becoming the CEO of your own retirement, because the reality is when you think about retirement, you're really transitioning jobs. Is that the way you think about that?
It is. It's an odd thing to think about that when you retire, you actually end up changing jobs and becoming the chief executive officer of your retirement. But that's exactly what it is. And you, as the CEO, are responsible for ensuring your retirement company's success. So it's an important role that you have to take on.
So there are two things specifically that a good CEO of their own retirement needs to do that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, so we believe that when you become that CEO, a good CEO does two things specifically. One, they surround themselves with the right people.
Right.
What we mean by that is financial advisors, maybe a CPA, attorneys, any other person that's important to you. But they also plan for the years ahead. Last week we talked about planning for the years ahead in regards to where are my paychecks going to come from in retirement, right? This week, what I'd like to focus on are the different needs that are going to arise in retirement and how we can plan for and prepare ourselves to pay for those needs, as well as how to invest our money accordingly.
So you look at this in, I guess you would call it three different ways. You've got short-term, intermediate, and then long-term. So let's start with short.
Yeah, so short-term needs are just that, they're short. Being prepared for the unexpected is important. Murphy's Law says that what can happen will happen. So when thinking about how we're going to invest our money for the long term, we have to consider the things that we can't plan for, the things that are going to come up no matter what. Short-term accounts are meant to be accounts where you have money immediately accessible and within close distance to you so that you can get it when you need it. For instance, my wife and I, when we moved into our new house recently, we needed a washer and dryer pretty shortly thereafter. Those things always come up. So it was important that we had money set aside in a short-term account to be able to pay for a need that we didn't see arising whenever we first moved in. So short-term accounts are things like bank savings accounts, money market accounts, things that give you easy liquidity, but also have little to no fluctuation in them.
So let's move to intermediate and long.
Yeah, so intermediate accounts are ones that are oftentimes planned for. Intermediate needs are things that are going to come up in the next 1 to 5 years. So car purchases, home purchases, these are easy things to think about when it comes to intermediate. Maybe you drive a good car, but it's got some miles on it. You know that you might need to replace it in the near future. Or maybe you live in a good house, it's adequate, but maybe you want to upgrade sometime in the next few years. These are all situations to where an intermediate investment account could be appropriate. And the reason an investment account could be appropriate is the prices of cars and homes, they appreciate over time. They go up. So it's important that we position our monies appropriately to be able to keep pace with inflation, the cost of rising goods.
All right, what about long-term?
Yeah, so when you think long-term, think big goals. This is like saving for retirement or investing to maintain a standard of living in retirement. Maybe you're in your 50s. You're looking at retirement in the next 10 to 15 years. With that long of a time horizon, you've got a little bit more leeway so that you can take advantage of the stock market and leverage it to your advantage. The price of milk, gas, healthcare, all of those things are going to be more expensive 10 to 15 years from now. So it's important that we take our long-term monies and invest them according to our goals and objectives and risk tolerances so that they can be there to outpace inflation and pay for those things that we're going to need in retirement, these long-term needs.
What can people at home do if they're interested in learning more? How can they contact you?
Well, so we said the first thing a CEO should do is surround themselves with the right people, right? So the first thing you should do is consider who are the people that are going to get you to where you want to be pre-retirement or even in retirement. So reach out to us, right? There's no cost to reach out and consult with us. You can go to www.fscfsa.com. You can book an online free consultation. It's a 15-minute phone call. And then from there, we can decide how we might be able to help you. Or you can give us a call at 502-426-6577, and one of our assistants will be here to take your phone call.
Grant, thank you so much.
Thank you.